Bonjour, hi, welcome to this session, Advanced Coding with Visual Studio and GitHub Copilot. And I say Visual Studio because I want to mean the family Visual Studio, because today I will be in VS Code, but it's mostly the same experience. There's a few differences. Instead of asking VS Code, we're asking Visual Studio, but mostly you'll have a great experience if you know how to use it. And this session is about real stuff. How can you get better and more efficient? So without further ado, let's get started. So developer challenges, would it be because we want to impress our manager or coworker that we can do the job, or because we're unfamiliar, we just like drop in a new project and you don't know really the code, or it's just like unclear requirement. Like what? Like I don't really understand what you're saying. Like there's not a lot, like a one-liner. We'll see that in a few seconds. So this fella is here to help us. Definitely GitHub Copilot will enhance developers. I should have an echo for each time I say that. It will really help us become better. But there's a gotcha. We need for that to learn how to use it properly, because GitHub Copilot can definitely help us with tons of different stuff, right? Would it be assistance, writing code, like having the interactivity, helping us being more efficient? And that's great, because for a developer to be productive, we need to write the test, searching for documentation, writing those documentation, correct the syntax and all those things. And we don't like it so much, so using GitHub Copilot, we can spend less time in all those activities and more time in, you guessed it, developing. And that's the focus of today. I really want to show you a quick few tips where you can learn faster and get better in up to your game and solve the issue, closing those issues on GitHub and impress people. So without further ado, let's get started with the demo. Real life developer experience. You'll see if you have a little bit of experience, it's definitely that. If you don't have developer experience, well, spoiler alert, this is exactly how it looks like. So it most of the time start by an issue. Your manager, the responsible, the project lead, assign you a bug and decide that, you know what, like it's super important, this is high priority, you need to fix it. And you look at it, it's okay, search is slow. And this project is eShop, and like it's using an API selling material. So say cool, and then you look, hoping for more detail in the description, and it's okay, trying to search on the website is too slow. It probably doesn't work. That's not really helping, isn't it? Okay, so first reflex is what? Well, it's to check the website. So let's do that. Let's switch, get out of the slides. And this is our eShop, very minimalist, as you can see. And one thing we can do is, well, it was about the search. So I'm guessing I should go into the search area. So if I go here and let's say I search, can I have tent? Is there any tent available? So it's searching, it's loading, it's searching, it's searching. Wow, that's long. Wow, this is very long. My grandma typed faster than that. Oh my God. We found the bug. It's definitely that. It cannot be something else. Oh wow, that was long. So okay, so it found 500 product with a tent. I was a lucky guess, right? Okay, so fine. We now know that was part of the problem. It's definitely too slow. And looking at the URL here, I can see that it's in the search page URL and like search page, I'm guessing. But I don't know much about this new project. So let's see if I close this. Let's have a look to the code, right? So we look here to the code. Let me move on. Like I will stay here for now, but this is our solution. So we can see that there's three projects. So our solution eShop Lite, let's zoom. Our solution eShop Lite has a project here called model, another one product, another one store. So, okay, so now it's time to leverage GitHub Copilot, right? So we can go here and ask Copilot, let's create this, and we could say, if I can type correctly, endpoints plural of this. And then one thing I can do is see here, one thing that is important to show is, whoops, not this. I can use pound or use the button paperclip to attach more context. And that's really useful because Copilot will be very smart when some files are already open, but like sometimes you don't want to open all the files, so you could point it at a specific file. Or maybe you would like to read a JSON document and create a class based on that. So you could say, hey, use and point to that JSON file that is not part of the solution. So you could say, hey, use that file and like, what would be the class that deserialize from this document? And then like you could be using that. And you could also ask using the VS Code, for example, asking, hey, what would be the best extension for like working in VS Code? You can do that too. So here I say, show me the endpoint in this, and I will like use the pound. And now I could search here, and I want the eShop Lite. So eShop Lite solution, voila. And I will say solution. So being specific really helps. Instead of having a generic response here, I have something very where it says, hey, the endpoints are specified in a file called product endpoint, and I could click on that and will bring the file here. So I have like, oh, that's cool. I have the file here, and I have here all the endpoints. So API product with an ID, a post, I'm guessing to create a product, and I'm like, I must have like a search. Here it is. We have a search. Ding, ding, ding. We have our winner here. So again, here it is. So using that will definitely help us. Another thing we can do is ask, and like looking at this here right now, you say, well, let's try to make the code a little bit more visible. You can say, well, that's a lot of code. I don't understand what's happening. So you could say, explain me, for example, what's this? Product data context. So you could say slash, so I have all those slash command, and I can use explain. That's the one I want to show you. You can ask Copilot to explain you things. So let's give it a try. So for example, here I will remove here, and I will say let's open a new context here, voila. So now we can say explain, and we want to know more, and then usually Copilot is very verbose, so we can say don't show code. Okay, so now we learn if I expand here, the key concept of the data context is like initializing the database, like creating the property configuration and all those things. So it kind of really helps me to understand what it's about. And so, okay, cool. So what I understand now is that was the database created. I could ask, fun fact, if you want to try it, you could get and say, hey, how many products are added in the initialization? Okay, so now we have it. So let's open a new context here. And let's scroll to find the search. And here we have it. We have the search. So you know what, let's close this one because I want to show you the chat is nice, but there's another way also that you could communicate with GitHub Copilot, and it's the inline. So here is our search, and there was like an attempt here to monitor how much time, so we could, using the inline command, so it's Ctrl+I or Command-I if you're on a Mac, and that will should bring, voila, the Copilot. Now I can ask stuff. So I could say optimize, voila. So I'm asking because like a coworker told me we're using entity framework. So I'm saying, okay, cool, let's do that. And now I see that it changed. And here it's like, hey, this is how you could use it. And like I was asking to use like, I didn't really know about it. A smart way will be like to ask Copilot about entity framework and the function light, how it works and things like that. Now I could just accept it. There it is. And if I rerun the project, it should be better, right? So let's give it a try. Okay, so let's go again in the search, and now we could search for, let's say, 10, and I click here the button search, and boom! That was way faster. I think we definitely improved that, but that's great. We fixed the problem, but how can we prevent that in the future? That's a great question. Unit tests are often a way to do that, and making sure that other changes doesn't break this. So how we can fix that? So if we look again to the code here, let's stop the project now. If we look into the code, so we were in the product, so I'm guessing that's the API. So let's go into the store and into the pages. There's a search here, and we can see that there was an attempt before about like having, you know, let's make the code bigger and counting like how much time it takes. But that's not great. That's not a very pro way to test an API. So we can ask Copilot about it. So let's again ask Copilot, and we could say, let's do again, be specific will be about this. Let's do it that. Okay, so it's telling us that we could write unit tests using XUnit or other things, but I heard about a file, like a HTTP file. So let's go again and ask, how about using a HTTP file? How can we test the search call with that method? Oh, there it is. So with that, it explains how it works and say, cool, you could do that, and you could just like specify this. Oh, that's interesting. So now we could add this if we had the file. So we need to create a file HTTP. But if I look at the solution here, what it was in the product, obviously, oh, there's so many files open here. Okay, so like look at that. Here there was already one, but it's only testing the product. So one thing I can do is here put my cursor here, and when I hover this code snippet here, I can see that I can insert at cursor. So I could do this, and before, let's close this. Thank you, Copilot. So one thing I will notice here is the port. I need to change the port. Sometime Copilot will get it, sometime no, but I have instruction that to replace that. So let's do the same research as before. So let's use 10. And now for the next part, if like me, the first time you try to say, hey, like I don't have this, I shouldn't have closed Copilot because it was saying to install a REST client extension. So you could go in the extension, search for that, install it, and then you will have the button. So once you click that, it will make the call and you have it. And this is a proper way to test. So you have exactly how long it took, the response and everything. So that's really helpful. So I hope that helps you to experiment, use those # and @ command to really specify and go a little bit more, adding details into your request when you use Copilot. It's really useful. So I hope you enjoy, and if you have any question, find me on social. I'm F. Boucheros, and I'm always happy to help and answer your question. See you next time.